Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about a calendar trick that all of my students use, and I preach left and right with my students, but I thought I would maybe share it with you because I don't think I ever have before. And this is the trick to making sure that your calendar feels really spacious and almost effortless rather than feeling like this like go, go, go stressful thing. And you guys know I'm obsessed with like having a really productive calendar. And if you have a great calendar that you never use, then it kind of defeats the purpose. So I believe in like creating a calendar that doesn't feel really restrictive or make you stressed because honestly, that's the reason that I avoided using a calendar for so long. Like, obviously, I had calendars, right? But like, really using it in a productive way was because I felt like it would stress me out. And I would just avoid it altogether and go back to just using a good old fashioned to do list. And I can tell you from experience, I wasn't as productive when I was just using a to do list. Now I kind of have like a hybrid model that I like to use. But I'm specifically going to talk about how to make your calendar feel effortless and flowy and spacious and less restrictive if that's something you're looking for out of your calendar while still being hyper productive. So the trick all lies in giving yourself time for the pre-work that goes into every project. This is something I didn't do forever. And I would just put the title of the project in my calendar or on my to-do list. Okay, let me do an example of let's use the example of like creating content. Most of us have to create content in some way every single week, whether you have a podcast or a YouTube video that you put out, or maybe you just email your list or you write a blog or you create videos like this one, whatever it is. Most of us have to put something out each week or bi-weekly to maintain a content marketing, in some way, right? So what I would do before is I would just write, film this week's video. And I put it in my calendar, maybe give myself an hour, even though my videos are usually like 10, 15 minutes. Put that in my calendar and call it a day. And I would just have that maybe like repeating in my calendar every single week. That's a really great first step. And honestly, if you don't have that yet, then just get that in your calendar. And that will be a major win for you already. Just getting in the habit of like, hey, yeah, I record my video every Tuesday or whatever it is. But what would happen is I would film the video and then I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go on a little like water break, maybe go pee, maybe get a little snack. I take a break, come back, answer an email, and that hour would then be gone. And I hadn't done all the things that go into actually filming that video, so maybe I still need to edit the video. And I just realized I kind of missed my point, which is the pre-work. So let's say, shoot. I'm going to keep on rolling here. Let's just say though, I did film my video, but before I filmed the video, I had to break out what that topic was going to be on, really figure out what I was going to talk about, start writing my points. And then I filmed the video. And when I come back, now I'm in this place where I have to now edit the video. I have to come up with like a really catchy title, maybe a couple like a little description that goes with the video. I need to write an email to my list that gets them to actually watch the video. I need to schedule this video. I need to maybe write a social post that goes along with it. So I hadn't really accounted for the pre-work that goes into the project and the post-work, right? I just put an hour in my calendar and I was like, hey, do this week's content. And maybe all of this only would take me an hour total. But now what I do is I make sure that the pre-work and the post-work are in my calendar. And what I actually love the most to do is to separate out my project over a couple days. So this part, the separating it out over a couple days, kind of depends on your style. I think this is just like a personal preference. I'm not sure if it's actually the most productive thing to do. For me, it is. Anyway, so you find what works for you. But what I'll do is I will, on Monday, I'll put into my calendar, brainstorm 4 video ideas, and then come up with a catchy title, your 2 main talking points, which clearly I don't have a great talking points for this video, and what your description is going to be for those videos. And I've got 4 ready. Now, the next day when I go to film, even if I still have an hour in my calendar, maybe I can get 2 videos done or 3 videos done, or even if I just get 1 done, still in my calendar week after week to film that video. And then on Wednesday, I'll have time now in my calendar, maybe another hour, to edit that video, schedule it, write the social post that goes along with it, and write the email that goes along with that video. So now, again, in an hour, I can absolutely get that done. But I've broken it out into these little chunks that make completing the project so much more effortless. And I get that win so much quicker. Whereas if I just have that hour in my calendar that's like content workflow, get her done, just make it happen, babe. It's kind of, you're like, okay, I got to think of the video. I got to come up with a title. You know, you have a lot to accomplish in that time period. And so even though you're getting a lot done, you're still like, I'm not done. I'm not finished. I still need to schedule the email. I'm tired. I need that coffee break. And so by breaking it out into those little chunks, I feel like I get a lot more momentum. And I personally like to kind of move on to another project once I feel like I've gotten a good chunk of the work done. So for me, I personally really enjoy mapping out what my videos are going to be about. And sometimes even writing the email content that goes along with them or the social content. I'm in more of like a copy writing, brainstorming kind of mood. And then my filming days, you know, I don't like to merge them because I feel like it's two different versions of me. The behind the scenes version who's like thoughtful and coming up with the, you know, the ideas for the videos and all of that is not the same person who shows up, gets on video, records something. It's just not. And that's my preference. So my suggestion to you, guys, if you're watching this all the way through, please leave me a comment and say you made it, because what am I talking about? I am making a point here. My suggestion is when you're creating your calendar, give yourself as much time as possible for the pre-work, and also schedule in the time for the post-work of any project. So content workflow is a great example of this, but this could be for really like anything that you have to do in your business. If you're creating, you know, a new workflow, let's say you're creating something like an onboarding workflow for your clients, or even if you take client calls every single week, make sure you give yourself time in your calendar client call to get your thoughts together, go through their work, blah, 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 have the call. And then post call, maybe again, you want to create a little, you know, like debrief after the call, give yourself some notes, or maybe leave them a checklist, or send them the deliverables that you said you were going to send after the call. Put those things in your calendar so that they're built in now, so that you feel like you have more space, as well as booking in time for lunch and going for that coffee break or whatever you actually need to do. I find that those things really help me stay a little bit more committed to my calendar, because I don't feel like it's as restrictive. I feel like I have enough time and space to get everything that I need done, and maybe even I'll get it done early. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'd love to hear what your tricks are for making your calendar feel more effortless and flowy. And if you have any tips for pregnancy brain, let me know. We're powering through it. Okay, bye.